Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, two-time Emmy Award winning The People's Duchess. Thank you so much for joining me today, and if you're just joining us for the first time, a big huge welcome to you. Shout out to all my new subscribers. There's too many to go through right now, but you know who you are, and I'll get you on the next round. Right now, I wanted to quickly jump into this been royal, she's been royal hashtag because it caught my attention. The other day, I was wrapping up my Invictus Games fashion roundup when all of a sudden the clip of Kelly Rowland talking about Meghan Markle being royal before she married into that family went completely viral, and you know your girl has to talk about it, so let's talk about it. Now, when I first heard this, I thought to myself, this is giving me serious deja vu. Where have I seen this before? Where have I heard this before? And then it hit me.
Get me.
Yeah.
But how cool is it? Your friends are going to be like a royal.
She's always been a royal.
Oh,
She's always been a royal.
that is very sweet.
Yeah.
So Kelly Rowland did an interview with Hello Magazine, and she was quoted as having said that it was just nice being there with other great women and being able to just simply talk. I don't know what people expected to see or know, but she just felt very cool and very down to earth. She is very warm. She went on to state that Meghan had been royal prior to joining that family, and that's the clip that has gone viral. And I just wanted to kind of elaborate a little bit on that. So Harry and Meghan put out their documentary a couple years ago. It was a huge hit on Netflix, and by now everyone is fully aware of Meghan Markle's childhood, her upbringing, her altruistic efforts, and all the things that she has accomplished prior to marrying into the royal family. However, people still like to pretend that those aren't big deals, that we could all be members of the UN, that any one of us could go on UN missions in Rwanda and India and speak on women's issues in front of the UN. And people love to act as if those are all minor accomplishments, like it's making breakfast. They also like to act like being a public speaker is quite easy and anyone can do it. And then they also, curiously enough, love to act like being on television is either detrimental or a negative thing compared to being a royal, or also not a big deal because she wasn't an Oscar award-winning actor. And if I understand the trolls out there correctly, anyone can be an actor. It's a low-grade job. And despite the fact that most of y'all look like that thing on Jabba the Hutt's tail, any of you guys could have walked into any Hollywood office and been like, I'm the next big thing. And everybody in there would have been like, heck yes, we need a Jabba the Hutt tail demon for this next romantic comedy. Even in bit parts. Do you know what it takes to get a bit part? To put it in perspective, on LinkedIn, they'll post a job within an hour, there'll be 7,000 applicants. Times that by 1,000,000. But you're talking about going to school, being professionally trained in the art of theater, acting, motion pictures, films. A lot of people just don't know what it takes to be a successful actor. I think a lot of you think that just having good looks is all you need and they'll fill in all the blanks, which is sometimes the case, but not in Meghan's. She did the work and did a lot of work, and it paid off. She stayed away from anything that would be detrimental to her, and it paid off big time. And I don't know how many of you could say that. And I know what the pushback here is going to be. Her dad was in Hollywood. He was a director in Hollywood. She had an in. Okay. And so did her other sibling who wanted to also be an actor and had the benefit of being a blonde-haired, I don't know what color-eyed white lady in Hollywood with a parent who had ends. So if that's the case, then why didn't her other sibling who was trying to be an actor get acting roles? If it's that easy to be an actor if you have a parent who is in Hollywood. Riddle me that, Batman. But it's beneath you, right? That's the only reason why you're working at 7-Eleven, because acting is beneath you. Forget that you idolize movie stars. No. When it comes to Meghan, acting is beneath you. And you wouldn't do that because you're better than that. Now, you have fries to attend to. I'm sorry, that was so facetious. And no offense to anyone who does flip burgers or fries for a living, but come on. You can't be flipping burgers and fries for a living and then coming home in the evenings and then bashing Meghan Markle for being an actor. A successful actor on a popular show with more than 100 episodes. So come on now. To have $5 million in the bank before you met the prince, that's not nothing. You've got $13 in the account and you're talking. Some of these royal commentators are in redundancy as we speak, but they're talking. They are losing their jobs left and right because of their poor behavior, but they're still talking. And speaking of poor behavior, I just wanted to touch for a moment on another aspect of her Hollywood life prior to marrying Prince Harry. Prior to marrying Prince Harry, you never once ever saw a negative headline about Meghan Markle. Do you know how difficult it is to be a full-time Hollywood actor on a popular show and never ever once be caught stumbling drunk out of the club at 3 a.m. with Drake? Do you know how hard that is? Everybody has been caught stumbling out of the club 3 a.m. with Drake. Heck, I have been caught stumbling out of the club at 3 a.m. with Drake. It just happens. It's like a rite of passage in Hollywood. And to not have that, to not have done anything racy, to not have any single person out there write something about you that was even slightly critical. Anyone who has ever been on screen has had a critical article written about them. Not one person on planet Earth had anything negative to say about Meghan before she married into that family. Even when her first marriage ended, nobody touched that. Everybody was so respectful of both her and her former husband that nobody touched it. You might not have heard of him until she got into that family and then you started researching her background. So even the press stayed away from talking about that because of the respect that they had for both parties. And when you're here on my channel, all I ever ask of anyone is to be for real. That's all. That's all I ask, is that when you come on here, be factual. If you're going to be trolling, bring up evidence, bring receipts. Don't come on my channel just repeating white supremacist talking points. And beyond that, we're not even talking reputations here. Let's talk criminality. Y'all got felonies. Let's just be real. You can be whoever you want online. You can make up any backstory about yourself. You can be whomever from wherever online. But once you log off, you still have to sit with the fact that a lot of you trolls out there are just felons who are sitting at home because you cannot go out and work in the jobs that pay you because you have felonies. And then you come on here and pretend like you're not a convicted, dangerous predator, menace to society. You want to come on here and act like you are a pristine person who never does drugs, never drinks, never does anything wrong, just so you can look like you're better than Meghan Markle? And I don't mean to generalize. This is only for people who have criminal histories, but come on. Even the former president of this country is sitting on a cajillion felonies. You log off and you are still you, and your own personal life is miserable because you are so limited. You don't have a clean enough reputation to be sitting up here throwing stones. Everyone that they ask about Meghan or worked with Meghan, they all say the same thing. She was gorgeous, her personality was gorgeous, everything about her was beautiful, she's such a good person, she's such a good actor, I really enjoyed my time working with her, so on and so forth. You will never see any person at a sit-down interview that worked with her when they're doing their press interview say, oh yeah, Meghan, she was kind of difficult, or whatever the case might be. She's always been royal. That is something that everyone has always said about her. She's regal AF. She carries herself like a queen. She always has. And this extends beyond just Hollywood co-stars, gushing over each other like they do. This goes way back into her childhood. She was prom queen. And I know high school was a long time ago for her and a long time ago for a lot of you. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of you also peaked in high school. It's been all downhill ever since for a lot of you trolls. Being elected prom queen is a very big honor and it stays with you for the rest of your life. If you're elected prom queen, that is normally an indicator that you're either beautiful enough to go on to model and act, smart enough to go on to be in politics, or a combination of the two. Either way you cut it, you're well liked if you are elected prom queen, and that is the beginning of very good things in your future. Because if your whole high school class or the majority of your high school class can elect you into such a position, then you can also imagine adults just a few years older than those high school seniors can also elect you into those positions. And that's exactly what happened with Meghan. So let's not trivialize being prom queen. That's kind of a big deal, and a lot of you peaked in high school and that's still your crowning moment, especially if you're just someone that spends all day online trolling now. So no matter which way you look at it, no matter which way you cut it, Meghan Markle has always been a popular person. She's always been described as empathetic, caring, beautiful soul inside and out. Even after high school, when she got to college, she got into a sorority. She was extremely popular with the sorority. She was popular with her teachers. Everyone had good things to say about her. And this is, again, evidenced by the fact that when she was going through it with the press, her sorority sisters came to her defense on record. They weren't hiding behind royal sources. They weren't hiding behind sources of any kind. They showed their face. They lent their names. They said, no, this is wrong. You guys have manufactured this whole identity. It only took one headline that said that Meghan made Kate cry for everyone to turn on her. Meanwhile, she had never done anything of the sort. And beyond that, everyone who knew her said, what? Meghan's never made anybody cry. She's like the nicest person in the world. And when it rains, it pours when you're a public figure. When one person comes out and alleges that you've done something wrong, a slew of people that you've done something wrong to then also feel empowered to come out and say, oh gosh, yeah, I didn't want to say it, but now that they've said it, I'm also going to tell my story. Here are the texts, here are the emails, here are the photos, this is what this person did to me, this is how I've been suffering, yada, yada, yada. If those claims were true, a slew of people would have come out and said, no, yeah, this is what she did to me too. I've been bullied by her too. This is what happened to me with Meghan too. Do you know how much that interview would be worth? If they could prove it, if they had even a single text message that was like Meghan just saying F you. They offered Simon Rex 70 grand just to say he slept with her. That person would be a millionaire by now. But nobody has anything negative to say about her. She's never committed a crime and she's never done anything wrong to anyone that has been willing to come out and say, Meghan Markle did this to me and look, here's the text message or here's the email or here's the voicemail or whatever. Nothing. So even the people that said that she was bullying them right before the Oprah interview rescinded that claim quickly, didn't they? Huh. Imagine that. They wanted the bullying allegations to stick so bad because of that Oprah interview, but ultimately they had to produce some evidence of that, and a few 5 a.m. emails wasn't going to cut it. And not the content of the email, mind you. They're going to point to the time that she sent the email and say she's bullying me because look how early this email came in. And that was not going to hold up. So they quickly went ahead and rescinded those bullying claims after the Oprah interview. Unfortunately for you, you don't get to rewrite her history. You cannot erase any of this from the internet and only see the British tabloid headlines splashed across everywhere, painting her out to be who she is not. You would love if there were no pre-recorded history of her being an amazing person. But the facts are the facts, and you cannot erase history, nor can you rewrite it, nor can you manufacture it. And you can make all the deep fake porn and put her head on a naked body and whatever the case might be, that's still never going to be the truth. That'll still never be her history. And even if we're talking present times, no matter what cartoon parodies them, it still doesn't change her past. It doesn't change who she was. It doesn't change who she is. And nothing is ever going to stop her from claiming her destiny. She will continue to rise, whether you like it or not, whether you make a billion fake porn videos of her or not, it doesn't matter. It just does not matter. We know everything about her. Porn was not part of it. Nothing like that was ever part of her history. And no matter what you manufacture to pretend like it was to make yourself feel better about your past and the things that you have done and the relationships that you have broken through your actions, that's not going to change Meghan's trajectory. I think that a lot of this trolling her comes from people who have not been able to reconcile the fact that she's beautiful, nice, intelligent, pretty much the whole package, can cook really well, has a great career, is rich, all of those things. It's kind of like that really crazy bit back there where people started calling Margot Robbie mid after they saw the success of Barbie, just to humble her. Of course she's not mid, but look how they're saying that she's mid, which is strange, but it makes sense because y'all are incels. And your main problem is that you're really burnt, really bitter, really jaded. Every beautiful person you've ever met has maybe been rude to you or rejected you or just straight up ignored you when you were trying to get their attention. So in your mind, there's no way that a hot girl can be that nice. There has to be something bitchy about her. There has to be something negative about her. There just has to be, because in your own personal experience, you've been a loser. Beautiful women that you have wanted have reacted to you as such. So in your mind, there's just no way that a woman who is this good looking could possibly be that nice or care that much about anything. It's like when you guys see hot women who are scientists or doctors, in your head you're going, I wonder who she has slept with to get where she is. Nobody. And some of us just happen to look like Meghan Markle and not be a loser. And FYI, Margot Robbie has been a married woman for nearly a decade, and she dated her now husband for 3 years prior to that. So what you think about her looks have less weight than a flea in outer space. And the thing that the racism angle really adds to this conversation is it strips people completely of their ability to be objective or even rational. Racism will take a perfectly healthy brain, like a medically healthy brain, and strip it of its ability to process that data truthfully because it doesn't align with their racist beliefs. Like, oh yeah, everyone loved Meghan, but no. Dan Wooten knows her better than anybody, and I trust him. No. Angela Levin knows her better than anybody, better than her mom and her friends. No. Ingrid Seward knows her the best. And in this irrational, deluded state, you think that courtiers who think that they're being bullied because she sent them emails at 5 a.m., those people know her better. You can't be objective and you cannot be rational. And I just feel sorry for you people. Your life is just a miserable, hot mess. And I feel not sorry in the traditional or classic sense of the term, but just pity. Like, I pity you because I know how hard it is for you to survive in the world. I know how difficult some of your lives are. A lot of you have really messed up lives. I get it. Men start doing insane things when they get lonely, can't find a partner, can't have sex, just aren't competing with the rest of the males. They're unable to secure themselves any bit of happiness via a female counterpart. So trust me, I have a little bit of empathy for you guys who are stuck in a rut, heavy on the rut. It's frustrating and nobody wants to be alone, but that's where my empathy ends. You need to find other ways to channel your anger and your sexual frustration other than coming online and bashing beautiful women, calling them mid. That's not going to help you get laid, bro. And if it does attract the woman, she's going to be even more demonic than you are. Because what kind of woman would look at a man bashing another woman and say, yeah, I think I'll go for that? Only a more desperate person than you would go for you if that's how you behave openly. You guys are on drugs, and I'm not trying to be harsh here, but let's just be for real here. I worked in a mental health facility post-grad for years. Let me tell you something. Y'all are on drugs. Y'all are on drugs, whether it's prescription drugs, street drugs, alcohol. y'all are on drugs. And that's not to make fun of anyone who has a dependency issue, but you guys are being so disingenuous about your drug use. You're being so blatantly fake. A lot of you guys cannot face reality sober. And that's just the fact of the matter. You cannot raw dog life. You need something to alter your reality every single day. Again, this is not medication shaming or anything like that. If you need Xanax because your anxiety is very high, then fine. You need Xanax because your anxiety is very high. But stop pretending to be incredulous and shocked that Prince Harry admitted to using drugs. You are using drugs right now. Hard drugs, alcohol. You are not shocked that a teenage boy did drugs in his school years. Period. Stop playing with yourself. A great author once said, "To thine own self be true." Lying to yourself may feel good and it may give you a sense of relief, but I promise you, you will be mentally ill forever. Meghan doesn't have so much as a jaywalking ticket, but you want to come online and denigrate her and dehumanize her, all because she told everybody how poorly she was treated, how she wanted to off herself in that family. Tell me how going to India and campaigning for girls' education and period health, tell me how that's not royal. Tell me what's the difference between her having gone to India and done that and any other royal going to India and doing anything they've done, which is nothing. They go places and they just wave and smile, and behind the scenes, the men in gray suits take care of everything, but there's actually no substance to any of it. Nothing's actually being done for anybody. It's just, hey, let me show up and hopefully you'll get some tourism out of this because I'm here. And they're famous for having gone on record and said, hey man, we're just here to lend our presence and our voice. We're not here to actually give you anything. We're not here to do anything substantive for you. You get to breathe the same air as us. And you don't have to take my word for it. I probably sound a little bit bitter, which I'm not. I just get very passionate when it comes to things that are close to my heart and nonsense and shenanigans and buffoonery. This is obviously a subject that's quite close to home, and I'm passionate. Go and look at the numbers. These are the world rankings for tourism. Guess which country is number 1 in tourism and doesn't have a monarchy? Number 2 is Spain. Their monarchy is tiny. The only working royals in that family are the king and queen. There's some periphery royals. They're obviously their daughters, the infantas, are getting ready for that public life as well, but they are a small, tiny little monarchy in Spain. United States, we don't have a monarchy. Does Turkey have a monarchy? Italy used to have a monarchy up until 1946 when it was abolished by popular referendum, which is why nobody else wants to have a referendum on the monarchy, right? Mexico doesn't have a monarchy, but there's the United Kingdom at number 7 talking about some monarchy. And look at the arrivals. Look how low they are compared to Mexico. So between number 6 and number 7 is a phenomenal difference. Is a very massive difference. But you're still gonna argue that United Kingdom needs the monarchy because they have the tourism bucks. They bring in the tourism dollars. Show me. It's all a lie. By the way, most of these countries had a monarchy. For all they're pretending that they're so popular, they know that if they had a referendum today, the monarchy would be gone tomorrow. Nobody wants to give you guys their money. Nobody respects you on that level to where they would just voluntarily just give you their money because, oh, you're so fabulous and you bring in the tourism and somehow we benefit from that tourism. Meanwhile, there's more food banks than thoughts and prayers. Where does that money go? I'll never forget the engagement that Dr. Biden went on. And I only bring this up because it ties into the fact that people make the argument that the royals attract tourists, but I want you guys to see firsthand what it would be like encountering said royals.
So, before we hear from our guests, I wanted to hand over to Your Royal Highness to say a couple of words.
Thank you, Ed, and thank you everyone for being here today and from overseas as well. But I wanted to just say a personal thank you and welcome to you, Dr. Biden. It's a huge honour to welcome you here in the United Kingdom, and I hope you'll enjoy the discussion today, and thank you for your interest in this work. So I'm very much looking forward to today's conversation.
Right. So here's Dr. Biden's introduction and what she says about the event.
And I want to say thank you for everybody for this program today. Thank you to the Academy. I met some wonderful teachers and principals and most of all the children who were so inspiring and so well behaved. I know I couldn't get over it. But and I want to thank the press, too, for covering this, because early childhood education is so important to lay the foundation for all of our students. So thank you for having me and for inviting me here. It's a very special place, I can see that.
I'll mention a survey.
I highly recommend you guys to go and watch this full video. It's amazing. And by amazing, I mean tragic. This is what people argue is worth 350 million pounds a year. And I'll leave it at that. So then they just went about their day and fed some horses carrots or something. I don't know. Look, I know I'm being so facetious right now, but I guess I'm just a little bit dumbfounded. I'm a little bit flabbergasted. I'm trying to understand how this is royal. I'm also trying to understand how taking bribes in exchange for citizenship is royal. How is taking bribes from an Australian billionaire royal? How is tricking a young woman in her teens into marrying you when you already pledged your soul to someone else? How is that royal? Like, explain it to me like I'm 6. And this list doesn't even mention all the Jimmy Saviles in every generation of this family, all the way back to Lord Mountbatten. So how do you have a Jimmy Savile in every generation of the same family, though? Is that royal? Other than the fact that their ancestors conquered a bunch of people a long time ago, they don't behave like royals. The heir to the throne a couple weeks ago was asked what his favorite emoji is. He himself said, "I've been told not to say aubergine, but the aubergine." And this is how you can tell that he's not royal. His mind's on his dick at work. He didn't have any care about the female interviewer that asked him that question. It was totally inappropriate. A week before that, he was talking about who's pinching my bum when he went to go and see the Windrush people. Who's pinching your bum? If I asked a group of people at my job who was pinching my bum, I would be in HR so quick, watching a couple sexual harassment videos. The aubergine? Bro. I understand that you guys are trying to connect with the younger generation, but that is just crass. That's just crass. That's not professional. You have to consider your surroundings. And the fact of the matter is, there's a reason they advised you not to say that. So you can't even follow simple instructions, basic, simple instruction to help yourself out. Think about how much better it would have been for them had they embraced Meghan fully. You needed to look at her Instagram following, you needed to look at her TIG blog traffic, and you needed to, as a CEO of a business, harness that clout. Bottle it up, rebrand it as a royal thing, and package it and send it out. I would have seen cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I would have seen the billions that just walked through the door. Are you kidding me? It's also very telling that they never seem to learn from history. They did this to Diana, and instead of doing better, they just did it again. You'd rather be racist than harness the clout that Meghan came into that royal family with. She had spoken in front of world leaders. She has been in the private residences of world leaders. What other kind of person did you want to walk through the door? For all the clout of Eton, you guys are some of the dumbest people. Society is diverse, whether you like it or not. You don't want to be friends with her, fine, but if nothing else, that is a dumb business decision to have made. And now she's resumed her pre-royal life, which was very royal, which was the real royal that did impactful things, and your worst fear has come true anyways. Overshadowed day and night. Let's be honest. Again, we are being effing real here. You have senior royals, they go out to events. How much press do they get? The king and the queen go out for events and you get eggs thrown at you. And you get people showing up in these bright yellow shirts to say, "Not my king." And they have bullhorns and they're chanting, and they're also not going away. And they're also growing in number. So this could have been a little bit of a breath of air for the monarchy, but no, but absolutely not. You would rather go down fighting on the side of white supremacy, of course, than just acclimate. Then do something smart for yourselves. What a shame. Not really. All of the trolls that are out here saying that, oh, she's only clout like this because she's a royal, that's a lie. And we covered it in the last video. That's a lie. The royals don't have any clout. They have money. People like the money. And I'm sorry, you'll just never convince me that if they didn't have that money, they'd have all these fans. Meghan had a whole career prior to being royal and she had legions of fans. She was volunteering for free. She wasn't getting paid for any of that. And that's how you know that her royal work pre-marrying Harry was real royal work. That's the stuff that real kings and queens do out of the goodness of their heart and wanting to see their people thrive. Not because they're being paid hundreds of millions of pounds by force, by hungry people who can't afford to do that, who would rather keep their own money, but they can't. Whew, child. I had some things to get off of my chest today. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me through this crazy long detour. The Invictus Games fashion is up next. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel so we can all grow. I hope you have a wonderful day, and please remember to be kind. Bye.